Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, what is the disadvantage of arrays and how to overcome it in Java? Let me answer this question first theoretically, followed by the practical demonstration. The straightforward answer for this question, that is, what is the disadvantage of using arrays in Java? The main disadvantage of using arrays in Java is arrays are fixed in size. Once you decide the size of the array, you cannot increase its size. Once you declare the array and create the array, from the next line onwards, you cannot increase the size of the array. Okay? While you are writing the code, when you have declared and created the array, in that line itself, you have to decide the size of the array. The next statements after declaring and creating the array, after that next statements, if you try to increase or decrease the size of the array, that is not possible at all. Okay. In fact, if you try to assign more elements to the array than its given size, you will get array index out of bounds exception also. So this is the main disadvantage of the arrays. Arrays are fixed in size. Once declared and created, the size of the array cannot be updated in the later parts of the program, later code in the program. Okay. The solution for this problem is we have to go with the collections framework. We have to go with the classes and interfaces that are there in the collections framework. The one such kind of main class that actually suits with this arrays, the same indexing concept, and it also stores a number of, here arrays will store number of values or objects, whereas array list is such kind of thing, such kind of predefined class under the collections framework in Java, which actually suits this array and also will solve the problem of the arrays, guys. Okay. Array list is not fixed in size like arrays, though it can store a group of objects, but it is not fixed in size. Okay. While in the remaining portion of the code, after you declare the array list and after you create the array list, if you want to increase the size of the array list, you can do that without any problem. I'm going to show you that practically, guys. So simple answer for this question here is disadvantage of the arrays is arrays are fixed in size. How to overcome that? We can use something like array list in collections framework to overcome this problem, whereas array list in collections framework, which is similar to the arrays, is not fixed in size like arrays are fixed in size. So let me practically demonstrate this, and so that let me practically explain this in a with Java programs in a practical way, so that you can get the answer for this question in a better way and can understand in a better way. For that, I'll switch to Eclipse IDE, guys. I'll switch to Eclipse IDE, and here I'll write about arrays. I'll create a package like arrays, guys. Arrays. Okay. Array demo. Otherwise, array pack. I'll just rename this refactor. If you want to rename a package, right? Refactor, rename, array pack. I'll simply write array pack here. Click on finish. And here, right click on this and say new. Just say class, guys, and say array fixed size demo class with main method I'm going to create. With main method I'm going to create, guys. And here inside this, I'm going to create an array, guys. Integer array, AR is equal to new int of, here we have to specify the size of the array. If I give the size of the array as 3, after this declaration and creation of the array, from next line onwards, you cannot change the size of the array, guys, because this particular size is going to be fixed in the later part of the code. Whatever the changes you have to do with the size, you have to do here only. You cannot update the size of the array during the programming code. For example, here in the index 0, the first element of the array is at the index 0. Here size is 3. Total 3 elements I can store into this array. That can be, here in data type is there. So values you can store. If it is integer wrapper class, you can store objects also. But here the first element I'll assign 9, AR of 1, I'll say 7, AR of 2, I'll say 5. I'll say 5, guys. Okay. Is equal to 7 is equal to 5. Okay. Now system.out.println. Now simply write down system.out.println AR. Okay. Otherwise, you don't have to print it out, guys. Okay. You don't have to print it out. Here, how many elements are there, guys? 3 elements. If I run this code, right, I'll just write some print statement, end of this program. Okay. I don't want to print anything. I just want to say end of this program. Run this code. You will see that end of this program got printed. No error has come. Because the size of the array is 3 and have stored 3 values into this particular single array, it's okay. But if I try to store one more element into the array, one more value into the array, like 1 here, it's gone. It's gone, guys. Why? Because here you are going to get array index out of bounds exception, because the size of the array is fixed, guys. If you try to increase the size of the array by adding more elements or more values into the same array, this will not change the size, guys. In fact, this particular statement, line 12, Java compiler is not giving you any compiler error, or is not suggesting or identifying that there is a possibility of an exception here. But when you run the program, in the output, you'll get a compiler. You will get a runtime error. Okay, in compile time you'll not get the error, but you will get an exception, which is nothing but a runtime error saying that array index out of bounds exception. In the line 12, guys, in the line 12 you got this exception, and the reason here is index 3 out of bounds for the length 3. Okay, how can you give index 3 when the size of the array is 3? Arrays are fixed in size. You cannot add fourth element into the array. That's what it's saying. In the index 3, you are trying to add the fourth element into the array whose size is 3. So arrays are fixed in size. This is not possible, they are saying. If you run this program, compile time, you'll not get any error. But after running the code, in the output, you'll get a runtime error or exception known as array index out of bounds exception, which is nothing but an unchecked exception because it's not checked by the compiler. Okay, fine. Anyhow, so arrays are fixed in size. We have seen that if you try to increase the size during the program by adding more values, right, you are going to get array index out of bounds exception error in the output. ArrayList solution demo. Okay. So for this particular fixed size problem of the arrays, right, in the collections framework, exact match is ArrayList class. Okay, using that, I'm going to give you the solution, guys. In the ArrayList, okay, how to use ArrayList, how to create, how to define and create ArrayList. ArrayList, we have to write like this: A list is equal to new ArrayList. Like this, we'll write, guys. Okay, put circular brackets and pour the mouse and import this ArrayList from java.util package. And after that, you will get this kind of warning messages. We have to give the generic type depending on the type of the objects that you want to store into the array list. For example, I would like to store integer objects. Here you cannot give int primitive data type. Okay, integer only objects, a group of objects can be stored into the array list. And here also you just provide less than greater than symbol. Optionally, you can also provide integer also. It's not compulsory, guys, to provide. Optionally, you can provide. Fine. Anyhow, if you remove also, no problem. Fine. Now, did I mention the size of the array list anywhere? In the array list, I have to mention the size of the array. But in arrays, I have to mention the size of the array, like integer array AR is equal to new integer array of 3 or something. I have given the size. But in the array list, I don't have to specify the size, guys, because the size of the array list is not fixed. Like arrays, array list is not fixed in size. I can add as many number of elements. I have to use the add method here. And here I'll add 9, let's say. This will be added at the similar to the arrays. Array list also will store this particular at the index 0. At the index 0, this particular element will be added. Okay, a list dot add of 9 5 at the index 1 5 got stored. A list dot add of 7 at the index 2 at the index 2 7 got stored. At the index 4 at the index 3 at the index 3 1 got stored, and so on. You can increase the size of the array list like anything, guys. There is no particular fixed size in the array list. How many add methods you want to call using this object reference of the array list class? How many times you want to call this add method, you can call, guys. There is no limit for that because the size of the array list is not fixed in size. Okay, that means during the declaration and creation of the array list, you don't have to mention the size of the array list. During the program, you can either increase or decrease the size of the array list. Okay, so here I'll simply write down system.out.println end of this program. You will not get any error or problem, guys. Okay, that's how I can say that array list is not fixed in size. The end of the program got printed. Doesn't matter how many elements you are going to store into the array list. Okay, arrays are fixed in size. That is the disadvantage of the array. To overcome that problem, we have to use array list from collections framework, which is the exact match for the arrays, which also stores the elements as per the index and all, but the size is not fixed in the array list. Okay, when compared to the arrays are fixed in size, but the solution here is there in the array, the collections framework of array list, which is not fixed in size. So guys, with theoretical explanation and practical demonstration, I've answered this question for you. That is what is the disadvantage of the arrays. Arrays are fixed in size. Okay, arrays are fixed in size is the disadvantage. How to overcome it in Java means, what is the solution? Solution is ArrayList class in collections framework you can use as a solution for arrays fixed size nature, because ArrayList in collections framework doesn't have any fixed size. You can add any number of elements you want into the array list, which is flexible in size or growable in size, okay, which is not fixed in size. So with all these things, hope you have understood the answer for this question. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye.